Hi everyone, I'm True Soul. You know, out of all the characters that I have in my Star Wars Black Series collection, one character that I've collected the most is Luke Skywalker's. Which is kind of funny because Luke Skywalker is not even my favorite character, but he has so many cool appearances and outfits from the movies that I always have to get them. But I got so many that I started thinking, which Luke Skywalker is the best? And that's what this video is going to be about today. I'm going to go through all my Luke Skywalker figures and decide which one is my favorite, basically. Deadpool, get out of here. Anyway, before we get started, I think it's best I lay down some ground rules for how I'm going to be ranking my figures. So first off, for each action figure, I'm going to be judging them based on the individual Luke Skywalker action figure itself, not with any accessories that it comes with or anything like that. This is about the Luke Skywalkers. So for example, with the Jedi Training Luke, I'm not going to also be incorporating the Yoda that it comes with or the backpack or anything like that. Also, clearly, if I do not have a Luke Skywalker, then they're not going to be in, this video. So unfortunately, even though I like Hoth Luke, I don't have one. So guess who's not in the video? Yeah. And lastly, I based this ranking system off of 3 criteria. One is the overall look of the figure, pretty much how cool I think it looks visually. The second one is articulation, how posable it is. And the third one, which is a little biased, is personal preference, which is going to play a big factor in this one. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with my first Luke that I bought, which is my farm boy Luke, or you could call it Tatooine Luke. I'll show a picture so you won't get confused. This is the very first Luke I bought. He's a used one. I bought him off of eBay. And yeah, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right off the bat, this is probably my least favorite Luke. This Luke Skywalker was made kind of before the photo reel started getting really good on the figures. So, he looks really plain. And it's not just that, the cloth that they used for his shirt, I'm not really a big fan of that either. I actually kind of would have preferred if they sculpted it on there. However, the fact that they didn't sculpt his shirt on there gives his arms a lot more better articulation. He can get a real good bend in there. I think that it's a single jointed arm in there when I was messing around with it, but I'm not sure. And he does have double jointed legs, so his articulation is actually pretty decent, even though he is, in my opinion, the worst looking Luke, in my opinion. And not only that, I felt like I had to get a farm boy Luke because, it was the first appearance that we ever saw Luke in. However, it is nowhere near my favorite look for Luke. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next. And next up, we have Pilot Luke. Now, one thing about the Pilot Luke is I always like the fact that this Luke came with a removable helmet. So I always like that a lot. However, in terms of the look, he does have pretty much the same pilot body that if you have a Wedge Antilles, you pretty much get the same thing with just a Luke head. However, I always did like it more than the farm boy Luke. Really liked that a lot. I'm not going to deduct points from it because it looks like Wedge Antilles necessarily. I'm more so, comparing it to the other Lukes to try to figure out, what I'm going to, score it as. The articulation's also pretty good. He has single jointed arms, but he also has double jointed legs. So his articulation is actually a little bit worse than the farm boy Luke. However, I just like this look better for Luke in terms of like the pilot one, even though it's not my favorite one. I like it more than the farm boy. let's go ahead and move on to one of my personal favorites, which is Yavin's Ceremony Luke. Now, when I heard that they were making this Luke, I had to get this one, guys. He'd always been one of my favorite looks, even though you don't really see him for that long. You only really see him in at the end of A New Hope. But I just really like that jacket. So in terms of the look, this is actually one of the few Lukes, I think it might be the only Luke that they made that has a jacket. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that definitely helped them out in the look department. And in terms of articulation, I think this is when they really started taking advantage of the double jointed legs. Because I think this Luke can literally bend all the way back and kick himself in the butt. So I always thought that was kind of funny. It's odd though, because as good as the articulation is on this Luke, he is one of the few Lukes that I have that can't sit all the way down. So I always thought that was a little weird. But I really like this Luke a lot. Probably one of my favorite looks that Luke Skywalker ever wore in the movies. However, there is another Luke Skywalker that is very near and dear to me, and that is the Snowspeeder Luke Skywalker. Now, I don't know why I didn't notice this when I'd be watching the movie, but there are a lot of differences between the Snowspeeder Luke outfit and the Pilot Luke outfit, which for some reason I didn't catch on to when I was watching the movies. But now that I actually have a figure of them, you can tell that there are some big differences between the outfit that Luke wore when he was in the speeder and the outfit that he wears when he's in his X-Wing. And I actually kind of like the look on the Snowspeeder Luke a little bit more. Now his articulation, he has single jointed arms and legs, so it does kind of hinder his articulation in some spots. But one thing that I like about the single jointed arms and legs is it doesn't break up the figure a whole lot. So when you're posing him, he doesn't look that weird when you're trying to make him run or block with his lightsaber, or different little stuff like that. So I really like that a lot about this Luke Skywalker. Now we're going to get into the newest Luke Skywalker in my collection, which is the Jedi Training Luke Skywalker. Which the one thing I like about this Luke Skywalker, his articulation is probably the best out of any Luke Skywalker that I have. Like, he's probably one of the only ones I have that can almost do a full split. Now, he does look kind of skinny and lanky because, he's not wearing any, jackets or shirts or stuff like that. But I think that actually helps with his arm movement a lot. So I definitely like that a lot. Now, he does look kind of plain compared to other Luke Skywalkers that I have. So, that is a little bit of a bummer. But hey, that's just how Luke looked whenever he was training on Dagobah, with Yoda. So I'm not going to fault it too much for that. Next we have, this next one was my favorite Luke outfit for Luke when I was growing up watching the movies. And that is Bespin Luke. Now, technically, Bespin Luke is pretty much Jedi Training Luke, but with the jacket on. with the shirt thing on. So I always I never noticed that whenever I'd be watching the movies. Also, one thing I wanted to point out is that the Jedi Training Luke action figure is actually a little bit taller than the Bespin Luke action figure. I took a picture, I'll show it, a little side by side, which I always thought that was a little odd. And in terms of articulation, his articulation is pretty decent, just like how the Yavin Luke is, and the Farm Boy Luke, even though the Jedi Training Luke has a little bit of an edge when it comes to the articulation in that department. But like I said, Bespin Luke was one of my favorite outfits for Luke growing up. However, my feelings on my favorite outfit have kind of changed over the years. And now I kind of like more outfits where Luke actually looked more like a Jedi. Speaking of which, my last Luke action figure for today is my Jedi Knight Luke. And this is the appearance that he had at the beginning of Return of the Jedi. And I really like this look for Luke a lot because, you know, he actually starting to look more like a Jedi. Now, this still isn't my favorite look for Luke now. I think my favorite one is the outfit that he had at the end of Return of the Jedi, which is different. It is different. One thing I never really liked about this Luke is like the little robe part that he has. I always thought it looked a little weird because I felt like at the beginning of Return of the Jedi, I always felt like that outfit was the outfit that he wore at the end of the movie, but he had that robe on top of it. So I don't know, seeing it here on the figure, it does look a little weird, but I still like this outfit more than some of the other ones because, you know, it actually looks more like a Jedi. And his articulation is also really good. There's not really a whole lot of Lukes that have really bad articulation, even though some have less than others. Mostly being the, you know, Snowspeeder Luke because he has the single jointed elbows. But yeah, really like this Luke a lot. But now we're gonna have to start eliminating some people in order for me to figure out who my favorite Luke Skywalker is. But first, some fun things that I noticed about these Lukes is mostly all the Lukes come with a little holster to hold their for their lightsaber, a little hilt to hold it on. Yavin Luke does not come with one, and neither does Dagobah Training Luke. Also, the Dagobah Training Luke and the Snowspeeder Luke are the only ones that have single jointed arms and legs, which they actually look the best whenever I'm posing because their joints don't break up the figure a whole lot, and it makes it look pretty cool whenever I take photos. And like I said earlier, Yavin Luke is one of my only Lukes that can't sit all the way down. So I did think that was a little bit of a bummer with him being one of my personal favorite looks for Luke. But enough about that. Let's get on to who the best Luke is. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to have to say goodbye to Farm Boy Luke. He's probably just my least favorite one. Even though his articulation is really decent, I'm just not a big fan of his overall look. He looks really plain. I'm probably going to need to get a more updated Farm Boy Luke, probably the anniversary one, because I hear that one looks a little bit better. But unfortunately, Farm Boy Luke comes in dead last. I also, unfortunately, going to have to eliminate Pilot Luke, even though it's not that I don't like how he looks. It's just in terms of all the other Lukes, his uniqueness isn't all the way there. So I'm going to have to go ahead and eliminate him too. Now after that, it was a little bit hard to start eliminating some of these other Luke Skywalkers because I really like all of them a lot. Probably I would have to eliminate the Jedi Training Luke. His articulation is really good, but the fact that he just looks, you know, kind of boring looking. I'm gonna have to eliminate him as well, which means the last ones we have left is Yavin Luke, Snowspeeder Luke, Bespin Luke, and Jedi Knight Luke. And the winner is, drumroll please, Yavin Ceremony Luke, guys! Yeah! I just really like the look of this Luke a lot. Not just the outfit in terms of Luke wearing it in the movies, but just how it looks in action figure form. And I really like, posing and displaying this Luke a lot. I probably would have gave it to the Jedi Knight Luke if I could get one that was from, the end of Return of the Jedi. Then that one probably would have won, but he's not here. So I'm gonna have to give it to Yavin Ceremony Luke. And probably if I had to give a second place, I'd probably give it to Jedi Knight Luke. And third place, I have to give it to my boy Bespin Luke because he was one of my favorite outfits growing up as a kid. Well, guys, that's going to do it for me. Comment down below which action figure of Luke Skywalker you like the best. And also, be sure to follow me on my Instagram as you'll stay updated on future projects as well as see exclusive photos that you do not see in my videos. Alright guys, until then, be sure to like, subscribe, and go to my channel to check out other videos. Catch you later.